YouTube, welcome back to the Built on Boxes YouTube channel. My name is James White. I am the trucking lawyer. This channel is about my journey from being a active practicing attorney to using the trucking business and the food truck business to try to walk away from the practice of law and work for myself full-time and work for my family and have a little bit more freedom. So thank you guys for checking us out. Thank you for your time. Again, I want to relay that nothing I say is intended to be legal advice. I'm not trying to create, and I will not create, any lawyer-client relationships as a part of this video or any future videos. So with that in mind, let's get into the topic. Everybody is asking about it. It really is the thing that draws more people into the trucking industry than anything else right now, and it's Amazon Relay. I know you guys are curious. What is the truth about Amazon Relay? Guys, you're probably not going to like it, to be honest with you. The truth about Amazon Relay is that it is the biggest reason people were joining the box truck and trucking industry. It is also the thing that you will probably move away from as fast as you possibly can, because the fact is that Jeff Bezos has to be able to bring you your packages in 2 days flat in order to comply with what he promised you to take your $129 a year to be a Prime member. Because of that, he's got to get freight as cheap as he possibly can. And if you are not in an area where you have an Amazon distribution center within, say, 50 miles, you're probably not going to be able to make a living on Amazon Relay. I know that's not what you want to hear. Listen, the reason that I got in this business is largely predicated upon the fact that YouTubers were out here telling me I could make $20,000 and $30,000 a month running Amazon Relay, and it's just not true. It's just flat out not true. Maybe in peak season you can make $25,000 a month. Maybe you can make $30,000 a month in peak season with one truck. For that 5 months a year, maybe that's the case, but the rest of the time that's not the case. Let me give you a prime example. I live in Knoxville, Tennessee. Now, the primary center that services this area is out of a place called Laverne, Tennessee. You can look it up, Lavergene. They send out loads on a nightly basis. I live 190 miles, or my garaging location is 190 miles from the distribution center in Laverne, Tennessee. I have to get in my box truck and I have to drive 190 miles to get a load. Now, I could take a load that sends me out to, say, Atlanta, but I'm gonna get stuck out there because there's not gonna be anything coming back. Amazon box truck loads are one-way loads. And so there are times when you can get loads that are paying $500, $600, $700 that are going out to other places. It's also possible, though, to strategically watch the load board. And for example, there's a place close to my house that's about 25 miles away called Maryville, Tennessee. You can actually get on the site and you can book a load going from Laverne to Maryville. You can find a location that's within 100 miles deadhead of where you are. The best I've been able to do is about $750 for a load going from the Laverne distribution center to a post office, or ending at a post office within about 70 miles from me. So I deadheaded up right outside of Nashville, Tennessee. So it's about 3.5 hours, 3 hours and 45 minutes in a box truck. So you pick up the load and you grab it, and then you can come back. When it was all said and done, I ended up driving about 500 miles because of my deadhead, and I ended up getting about $750. If you're good at math, quick math, you know that's roughly $1.50 a mile. Okay, but generally you're going to end up, because of, if you're not close to an Amazon center, you're going to have to, there's only going to be certain loads that you can take, because you're going to try to make your deadhead to the center the furthest that you have to drive away if you want to be strategic about it. So you want to drive out to the center and then you want to work your way back, dropping at post offices on your way back to your house. So if you work it right, you can probably get a few loads a week where you drive out to Amazon, and then on your way back, you will drop off at some post office, you'll finish up, and you'll drive back. If you don't live within 50 or 100 miles of a distribution center, the best you're ever gonna do is $1.50, $1.75 a mile. By the time you drive 500 miles, and you do it starting at 10 or 11 o'clock at night, and you compete with people on the load board that are stuck in Nashville and need to get back, who will take the load for $2 a mile, you're just not gonna get very much work. And in my case, I'm renting my box truck, and so the cost of the box truck was just like, I was barely breaking even. Okay guys, I wanted to give you an idea just by showing you. A lot of times I'll hear on the group pages, can somebody show me the Amazon load board? Here it is, guys. This is the Amazon load board, and this is what you do. So we'll just take off these filters here real quick and just show you exactly what to do. So when you get in here and you're gonna click on load board, we're gonna allow it to know your location, and then you got work type. So you wanna deselect block right off the bat, and you want to go with one way and round trips. Now this is where you look at this like, oh man, 1,451, but look here, 53-foot trailer, 53-foot trailer. Most of this work is for semis, okay? The way you filter this out and look for box trucks is you go down here to equipment and you click on 26-foot truck. Now right now in the whole entire country, there's 336 box truck loads in the whole country, okay? And what Amazon does is, I'm going to show you just our area real quick, okay? So I'm going to go with my location, which is High School, Tennessee, and as you can see, there are no matches, none whatsoever. Okay, but let's say we change this to anywhere, and then we go over here to destination, then we use our location as a destination. Well, now you can see that there are 2 box truck loads scheduled for Saturday, May 1st, and they're going from Laverne, which is right outside of Nashville, and they're going to Knoxville, Tennessee. Now, this is what you want to look at, okay? Right now, Amazon does this with all their loads. Right now, we're 2 days out, or let's see, today's Wednesday, so we're 2.5 days out. They have this at $1.62 a mile, okay? So there's a 180-mile route, supposed to take 4 hours and 56 minutes, 26-foot box truck, and they want to pay $292. If you were to take this load right now and you had 0 deadhead there or back, you'd make $1.62 a load on it, or a mile on it, excuse me. But what they do is they start it out low like that, and then they'll wait until it's close to going out, and then they'll raise the rate. Or sometimes what they'll do is they'll pop up a new load. What you want to do is you want to filter this over here by start date. And so if you've got it filtered by start date, you'll see that the ones that have the highest rates will be the ones that are getting ready to start. So they may pop up at 10 o'clock at night one night and say, okay, we've got a load going from Laverne. This exact load could pop up. It's not on the board now, but 10 o'clock tonight, they might realize at the Amazon distribution center, they have 12 pallets full of stuff that needs to go to a post office in Knoxville. They'll post this identical load up, and because it needs to go out in 3, 4, 5, 6 hours, they might start it out at $2.15 an hour or something. And then the closer that it gets to this needing to go out and somebody hasn't taken it, they'll raise the rate incrementally until it gets to a place where somebody takes it. Okay, and they don't care. They don't care who takes it. They're not interested in what your cost of business is. What they want to do is move this freight as cheap as they possibly can. Let's go over and let's take away the filters. Let's go anywhere to anywhere, 26-foot box truck. And as we looked at before, we've got 336 in total. This is Massachusetts, Oregon, Euclid, Ohio, Pittsburgh. But all these are Friday. So like, today's Wednesday. These are all Thursday. So what'll happen is you see this one's at $2.54 a mile. That's because it's going out tonight at 2:30. As it gets closer to 10, 11 o'clock, this rate will start climbing. But let's go over here and let's go filter by the highest price per distance. So as you can see, this one is $4.72 a mile, but it's only going 65 miles. So when they have shorter ones that are under 100 miles, they're almost always going to be $4, plus per mile. And then, you're going to have people that are close to the distribution center are the ones that benefit from that. That's why I mentioned that if you're not within 50 miles of an Amazon distribution center, it's hard to make a living because you might make this $300 and it might climb to $500, $600, $700, and you might be able to capitalize that on every single day and only have to drive 100, 150 miles, and that's great. When you get total miles driven and you're up above 250 a mile in a box truck, that's pretty good. Let's say that you don't live close, and this is what you're working with. It's hard to make a living. It really is. I want to give you guys we'll give you a tip on how you can find out what kind of work is available in your area. Let's say you don't see anything on the board and, okay, I don't see anything here that works for me. Go over here to post a truck. Now, don't post this. That's something you can really mess up by doing because if you post your truck, Amazon will fill it, and it doesn't matter how far away your garaging location is. If let's say that you go through here and you say, okay, I want one-way trips, which box truck loads are all one-way. So you want one-way trips, and I want to end within 100 miles of High School, Tennessee. Let's change this to 150 miles. And we'll just go ahead and make today as the start time, and then we'll make tomorrow any stops Trailer status is required for box trucks, because required meaning you have to bring the trailer. You want to do 26 foot. And then let's say you're like, you know what, I'm not moving my truck for less than $4 a mile. You can put $4 a mile. Now, here's the trick. You click submit. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, cool. Based on the trips available on the load board over the past 6 weeks, 26 trips a week would have matched your order criteria. In other words, only 26 times in the past 6 weeks rolling would there have been 26 times a week in the past 6 weeks would there have been loads that matched your posted truck, okay? But let's say that you want to have let's just say you want to have a minimum payout of $500, okay? And then submit it. Okay, 0 trips a week would have matched your posted for the last 6 weeks. That right there should let you know whether or not you're in a place where you can make good money on Amazon. Because if you're not getting any loads per week that match what you're looking for out of your truck, then that should let you know. But let's lower it down. Let's take a step back here. Let's go with $375. Let's say our minimum payout's $500. That's what we need to make out of our truck. Again, 0 times per week has that happened. Well, let's take it on down to $350. 1 trip per week. So only once per week over the last 6 weeks would you have gotten a $3.50 per mile load that paid out at least $500, starting in Laverne and ending within 150 miles of where I live. Okay, so this tells me as a business owner, well, this is just not viable, because I live 200 miles from Laverne. So if I can't get at least $500, then that means I've got to drive 200 miles there, however far the trip takes, which is usually 150 to 200 miles, and then I've got to deadhead back usually 100 miles. So in total, what I usually run is 500 miles. If I don't get a payout of at least $500, then I'm not even making $1 a mile. Now, if you do live close to an Amazon center, this doesn't apply to you. But Amazon's tricky. Even if you live close to an Amazon center, all the loads are one way. So you can sit around and wait for it to get to $4 a mile, and you can probably, pocket $500 or $600 a day doing that. But still, at the end of the week, you're still going to have $1,000, $1,500 worth of overhead, especially if you're renting. And you just have to decide whether it's okay. If you make $4,000 a week, yeah, $2,500 a week's probably worth doing. That's over $100,000 a year. It's a pretty good living to work for yourself. But you're going to work midnights, you're going to pull and tug on that pallet jack and all that stuff. So you just have to figure out whether it's really worth it. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys today. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Please continue commenting down in the comment section. I love interacting with you guys. I'm happy that you guys are on board. I'm happy that you find my content valuable. I hope to continue to put it out at least a couple times a week in the future. I'll leave my contact information in the description. I do try to respond to everybody that comments or writes me, and I'm happy to help where I can. So appreciate you guys, and I hope you have a great day.